What is going on, guys? In today's video I'm going to be showcasing my Predaplant deck update for the new Legendary Duelist set that just came out. Before you check out the video, feel free to check in the link in the description, my eBay page. Sometimes there's going to be some cards on it, sometimes there won't. It should be very close to the cheapest stuff on eBay at the minute. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So the way this deck works is you can fuse off some of your opponent's monsters, and it's really like fusion spamming. So the first card we're running, these cards are horrible to pronounce as well. So you can see it there, Predaplant Hydra, I'm going to call it. So the way Hydra works is if there's a Predaplant, if there's a Preda counter, so the way it works as well as counters, for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to do a quick crash course. If there's a Predaplant counter on a card or a monster, you can tribute that monster from this card with this card in your hand or graveyard and special summon him. So that's how he works. He's pretty cool. Then we have this card to dish out the Preda counters. So this is a Spinodinea, something like that. And the way this card works is if he's normal or special summoned, you can target face a monster your opponent controls and place a Preda counter on it. Also, for those of you who don't know as well, if you place a Preda counter on a monster, their level becomes 2, I think. If it's higher than 2, the level becomes 2. So that kind of disrupts Xyz plays as well. Not that much people are using Xyz or matter about level at the minute. It messes up synchros as well, so that was kind of the basis of the deck, or the way it's supposed to work. So you can just place the counter, and then it has another effect if it's battled a monster with lower level. You can special play that monster from the deck, so kind of search it out as well. It's kind of nice. A lot of people only run it at 1 or 2 or something, but because I'm running more Predaplant or Preda counter based deck, this is why I have to run 3. The next card is probably still one of the best cards, is Orifice Scorpio. So the way this card works, if it's a normal or special, you can send a monster from your hand to the graveyard and special a Predaplant monster from your deck. So that can be anything, and they still get their effect off as well, which is really nice. But the main one they're going to be going for is Darnatonia Cobra. And when Cobra is special summoned by the effect of a Predaplant monster, you can add a Polymerization spell card or Fusion spell card from your deck to your hand. So there's that, which is really nice. You can use this effect once per duel. To sieve out some of the plant monsters like Orifice Scorpio, we're running 3 Lone Fire Blossom. Once per turn, you can tribute a face of plant type of monster, special 1 plant type monster from your deck. So normally what you're going to do is normal summon, tribute that special Orifice Scorpio, ditch a monster, special done Darnatonia Cobra, and then you're going to have a fusion card to go into your fusion monsters, which is pretty much the main play. The next sort of play is we have kind of, I suppose it's like a Fluffle Owl, for those of you who know Fluffle Owl. This one is called Claim de Sundu. Yeah, if those of you want to actually see the name, if you want to look it up or whatever, there it is there. Anyway, so the way he works is he can actually fuse with one of your opponent's monsters if they have a Predaplant counter on it, and their attribute, if they're not dark, they become dark if they have a Predaplant counter on it. He can also, like, just if you have him first turn, you can normal summon him and then fuse with a monster in your hand, which is really nice. So you've automatically got something like, obviously you can't go into Starving Venom, but you can go into Rafflesia, which is really nice. The next is another extra bit of Predaplant counters. So this card does the same thing as Spinodinea pretty much. It's once per turn, you can target face of monster your opponent controls and place a Predator counter on it, and then it changes the level. And when this card battles a monster with a lower level, you can destroy that monster, then increase this card's level by the original level of that destroyed monster. So not that you're going to be using it too much, but it's still a nice little extra effect to have. And then the last of the Predaplant cards is Serra Ancient. So this is kind of like a hand trap, this card. So if your opponent's monster is going to declare direct attack, you can special this card from your hand, and then after damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy that opponent's monster. So it's got extra destruction effect. And then if it's destroyed by battle, or if it's gone from the field to the graveyard by a card effect, you get to search out a Predaplant Predap card from your deck to your hand. So that's nice as well. So that is it for the monsters. They're all dark, they're all plant type, and that's pretty much always been the main deck for me. So the next card we have is, so you're running 20 monsters there as well. The next card we have is the new card, which is Predapractice, and this card's actually really good. This way I max out on all the Predaplant monsters, because this card actually special summons a Predaplant monster from your hand, and then you can add a Predap card from your deck to your hand, so it searches everything else in the deck pretty much. And also for the rest turn after this effect resolves, you can add special monsters from your extra deck except fusion monsters. So you can't go into a link or whatever, but you can, you know, go into a fusion monster. But it's a really nice card. It's cool. It's not quite free for patchwork, but it's still pretty cool. This is a pure build as well, and it's just for fun, for those of you wondering. But it's still really fun, like when you do want to get some kind of crazy plays you can get into, and your monster can go to crazy attack if you could do it right. This next one is called Predaplast. So what this does is another thing. It's another counter distributor. So reveal any number of Predap cards in your hand, and then target that number of face-up monster your opponent controls. Place a Predator counter on each one, and if you do any of those monsters that level 2, whatever, they come level 2. It also has a graveyard effect that if your Predaplant monster will be destroyed by battle, you can banish a card from the graveyard instead. So it's a bit of extra defense as well. The next card we have is the Monster Reborn for the deck. So Predapruning. So activate this card by targeting one Predaplant monster in your graveyard, special summon it and equip it to this card. So you can still get cards like big fusion monsters out from the graveyard as well. I know that he's special on himself, but Rafflesia and Dragostapelia and stuff like that you can use, which is really nice. Then we have an extra bit of graveyard manipulation, I suppose, is Predaponics. No matter hitting the camera. Predaponics. So this one is each turn you're going to pay 800 life points for having it. But it still means once per turn you get special level 4 lower Predaplant monster from your hand or graveyard. But has effects negated, which is the only crappy thing. That's why we're going to run 2 of him. The next card, while it's not on the ban list, we're going to be running 3 Super Polys. Just because you could get lucky, your opponent could have dark monsters, in which case you can just start fusion them like crazy. If not, it's still a nice it's a nice card to have. Only I would change the extra deck a little bit more than the way I have it now. But still, Super Poly is really nice. Like if they have a dark deck in any way, or a dark card in the deck in any way, shape or form, it's going to be good. The next card I'm running is a staple called By the Grave. It just stops hand traps and other little things from going on. 2 Allure Darkness, because like I said, we're running 20 dark monsters. Actually 3 of them are lone 5 blasters, so not 20. And then we're running the 1 Polymerization and the 1 Fusion Substitute. I run 1 of each, just because it is searchable with Darlantonia Cobra. And normally with Darlantonia Cobra first turn, I'd search a Fusion Substitute, and then if that monster gets destroyed, you get to bounce the Fusion monster back to the extra deck and draw a card, which is nice. So it's 20 spells and 20 monsters equal to 40 cards. And next we will go into the extra deck. So like I said before, the extra deck I would change a tiny bit. A lot of people are running 2 of this, and they're probably right. But I only have 1 at the minute. So this is Predaplant Trifolium. Can you see that? Like, where are they going with their names? If it'll focus a little bit better. There you go. I don't know. But it's a cool card. So the way this card works, it requires 3 dark monsters on the field, which isn't always easy, but it's doable. This card gains attack equal to the original attack of all other monsters on the field with a Predator counter. You can only use each of the following effect of Predaplant Trifolium, I don't know. Once per turn, when your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck while you control this fusion summoned card, quick effect, you can negate the summon, and if you do, destroy that monster. So only when he's after being fusion summoned, not when he special summons himself, which he can do from the graveyard. And his special summon effect then is if your opponent controls a monster with a Predator counter, you can special summon this card from the graveyard in defense position. The next card is Dragostapelia. So this one requires a fusion monster and a dark monster. So there you go. It's another, if your opponent's running a fusion deck as well, it means you can take your, with the Super Poly, you can take your opponent's fusion monster. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1/1 face-up monster your opponent controls, place 1 Predator counter on it, and if its level is 2 or higher, it becomes level 1, and it has its effects negated, which is nice. Then we have one of my personal favourites, Chimera Rafflesia. So this requires a Predaplant monster and a dark monster. Once per turn, you can target 1 monster on the field with a level less than or equal to this card's and banish it. So it's a free removal, and if you're having predator counters, obviously that's what the whole point of it is. When an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's face-up monster, you can activate this effect until the end of this turn. Your opponent monster loses 1,000 attack, and if it does, this card gains 1,000 attack. Once per turn during the next standby phase after this card was sent to the graveyard, you can add a polymerization spell card or a fusion spell card. So it searches as well, which is really nice. The next card we are running is 2 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Still one of the prettiest looking cards in the game. So this requires 2 dark monsters on the field, not tokens. If this fusion summon card, if this card is fusion summoned, you can make this card gain attack equal to 1 special monster your opponent controls. So it's easy to get up to 5,000, if not more, until the end of the turn. And then once per turn, you can target level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls. And at the end of this turn, this card's name becomes that monster's and replace this effect with that monster's effect. Sometimes you can go for really dodgy plays and just get your opponent's like crazy effect. Sadly, it's level, so you can't get links or whatever. But you can see what they were going with. The next card is Greedy Venom Fusion Dragon. So what this one is it requires a Predator Plant monster and 1 dark monster whose original level is 8 or higher. So I should probably be running the new monster as well. There's another new one, but I can't even change that name. I'm sure you can swap something for him. But anyway. So this one must be first fusion summoned. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field. Until the end of the turn, change the target stack to 0. Also, this target has its effects negated. And if this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, destroy as many monsters on the field as possible. Then you can banish 1 level 8 or higher dark monster in the graveyard and special summon this card from the graveyard. Starving Venom has a destruction effect as well. If this card is destroyed, you can destroy all special monsters your opponent controls, which they all do. And then next we have for links, we have 1 Borreload, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Topologic Trizbana. So Borreload steals your opponent's monsters. Boral Sword OTKs with 2 attacks and make an attack higher. Topologic Trizbana is just for back row removal. Wee Witch Apprentice because we're running 20 darks. Be Cop of the Underworld, because we're running darks as well, and if this card is linked to someone using 2 dark monsters with different names, it gains the effect you contribute 1 monster and target 1 face-up card on the field, place 1 patrol counter on it. You can only use effect to be cop for 1 underworld once turn. If a card with a patrol counter would be destroyed by battle, or a card effect remove 1 patrol counter set, so it actually have defense or whatever. The 1 Nightmare Phoenix for back row removal again. And then the 1 Salamangreat Almirage. The only reason I'm running this is because actually, when you look at it, a lot of them are lower than the 1,000 attack. So, you can normal summon one of them, special on Almirage, and then Almirage's effect is you can target 1 monster that cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects this turn. When a normal summon monster you control is destroyed by battle, while this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card. So you know what I mean, it's not too bad as well. So that's it for the extract, that's it for the deck profile, guys. Please let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe. And like I said, check out my eBay page. There's not always cards on it, but sometimes I will. And if any of the cards you like in this profile or any other profile you like, send me a message and I can put it up exclusively for you. We can work out some sort of deal. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Good luck.